This week we continue our coverage of the LSU Ag Center's Ag Leadership class trip to South Africa. This week, Class 14 visited York Timbers in Sabine, South Africa, one of the largest timber producers and millers in the country.
Joining us now is TWILA's international correspondent, AJ Sabine. And now last week you told us about some of the touristy spots that these folks went to in Class 14, but also you're going to tell us now about some crocodiles and then York Timbers. What did they see over there?
Well, if you've ever been to Sabine, if you've seen it on the pictures of it on the blog, I mean, it reminds you of Germany. It's just beautiful mountains with pine forests. But I'm gonna tell you, crocodiles were nothing like the gators in Gatorland. Nothing like that at all. Interestingly enough, Class 14 saw how hybrid seedlings are grafted onto existing rootstock. They also had a chance to get their boots dirty in the forest where inspectors validated newly harvested timber. But first, let me set the scene. As you heard Kristen say, York Timbers is located in Sabine, South Africa, which is nearly 230 miles east of Johannesburg. York Timbers has 150,000 acres of certified plantation pine forests. They also own 5 sawmills in the region. This week, we take you into the classroom and out to the forest, where York Timbers showed off a recent thinning of a stand of pine trees.
York Timbers senior tree breeder Lizette DeWald explains to Class 14 that forestry is a game of patience.
Yeah, the seed set is quite a bit lower with your hybrids.
Trey Jingles works as a forester in Red River Parish. As the only forester in the class, he's keenly interested in Lizette's presentation. Later, DeWald reveals that part of the rootstock her company uses for their hybrid program comes from the loblolly pine, found right here in the United States.
North America is mainly Pinus tator. Pinus tator is not our most important species, but we do use it in our hybrid program.
Most of the pine trees grown in the Sabine area come from Central America. DeWald showed Class 14 the different seed varieties used in their operation. DeWald attributes the success of their breeding program to a spirit of collaboration. That's why this visit by Class 14 is so important.
We like showcasing what we're doing and also to technology transfer, being able to say what we are doing and how we want to improve the timber industry in South Africa. So it's marketing for South Africa as well as for our country. And also, South Africans are well known for collaboration, so we like hearing from other companies what they do. It's always good to see the bigger community.
Tree grafter Nathaniel demonstrates cleft grafting to the class.
You have to match up your vascular cambium.
Shoots from the tips of older trees are grafted onto seedlings to improve their performance.
We do 5th row.
Out in the forest, Jingles noted a difference in the length of harvested trees piled up along the road.
Here, because they're making logs out of little bitty sticks of wood, they have to cut them here to an 8-foot length, and then they run them through the sawmill and make square pieces out of it. Then they dovetail join it together, so they're making a bigger stick out of those pieces that they glued together. That's an expense, because every time you cut something, that's a cost.
Long-term cost cutting in this 8-year-old forest is why York Timbers thins out underperforming trees. The company also invested in building this irrigation pond called the Cuddle Puddle, which also raises additional revenue as a tourist venue. Jingles says he learned a lot from this stop.
They're matching their forestry practices to their environment. And not everything's the same, but there's a lot of similarities. So yeah, I mean, it's very interesting just to talk to another forester from another area, and foresters are very territorial. Like, I know kind of what's going on my wood basket, and there's a lot of similarities with a forester in North Louisiana as there is in Alabama, and there's a lot of commonality between a forester from North Louisiana and a forester in South Africa.
York Timbers has tested more than 40 different hybrid combinations to determine which perform best in their environment. If you'd like more information about York Timbers, I encourage you to log on to our website at twilatv.org. Now we'll take you from Sabine to the Brits area of South Africa to the Inyoni Crocodile Estate. Established in 1997, Inyoni grows and maintains more than, check this out, 6,000 crocs on site, with a focus on exporting those skins all over the world. Class 14 had the unique experience of watching crocs fight over lunch, much as we do here at TWILA.
One look through the 6-foot iron gates of Inyoni Estate, and you know you're not in Kansas. Hundreds of crocodiles greet Class 14 with teeth as these reptiles lounge around the pool.
Follow the chicken.
Just then, wheelbarrows filled with lunch roll out to a pier overlooking dozens of hungry crocs. As soon as the first chicken hits the dirt, pandemonium breaks out as hungry crocs move in for the feast.
Oh my word.
As the class takes it all in, these feeding demonstrations offer a valuable lesson in respect. Inyoni Estate owner Letty Stain tells the class that crocs kill hundreds of humans each year.
Crocodiles, as we know, is also responsible, especially in Africa, for over 200 deaths each year.
Lee Gottschall owns an alligator farm in Vermilion Parish. While the species is familiar to her, this farm still offered much for her to learn.
Obviously, just the size of the crocodiles is tremendous, and you forget how small the American alligator really is comparatively. The feeding aspect was pretty intense. But it's very similar but different, and just the way they nest is different. I didn't know they dug for their eggs.
So these are good eggs?
These unfertilized croc eggs will remain in this incubator for 3 months, according to Stain. While Inyoni Estate focuses on breeding, they primarily export croc skins to Asia. Stain says the grading on these skins is very exacting.
You will not even sell the skin.
What's wrong?
It's got too much marks. Look there, too many marks. This will not, you agree, it will not even go through.
The grounds of the Inyoni Estate are beautiful. Not only can you visit with this gregarious macaw, the facility also offers much in terms of wildlife education. Here's LSU Ag Center aquacultural specialist, Dr. Chris Green.
They actually have a captive or kind of, controlled breeding program where they've got, the moms and dads in-house. It's a little bit different from our system, but our system has actually been able to couple with the conservation and preservation of the American alligator. The Nile crocodile, that system wouldn't really work because of the way the Nile crocodile builds a nest.
Inyoni Estate owner Letty Stain told Class 14 that commercial crocodile farms got their start in South Africa in the 80s. Now from the Brits area of South Africa, we take you to Cape Town. Class 14 got a chance to play tourist during their trip to South Africa. The class hopped on the Table Mountain Cableway to check out the spectacular views of Cape Town from atop Table Mountain, which could be, Neil Melanson, the world's oldest mountain. At least 6 times older than the Himalayas, Table Mountain offers fantastic views of the Cape Peninsula. Class 14 queued up to board the iconic Table Mountain cable cars to ascend to a height of more than 3,500 feet to reach the summit. Voted as one of the new 7 wonders of nature, Table Mountain is home to the rock hyrax, cute as a button, known as the Dassie. Of course, there were plenty of selfie opportunities during this stop, but as a whole, the members of Class 14 had great things to say about their trip to South Africa.
It's been great. I think we've learned a lot since we've been here. It's definitely different from back home as far as how they do things. I think it's more traditional than, say, what we do back home. It's all about culture here.
Ironically, not 10 minutes after Class 14 arrived at the summit of Table Mountain, the fog rolled in and there went the view. However, everyone seemed to enjoy that part of the trip. And guys, Table Mountain is absolutely beautiful because you can actually jog around the mountain. They have all kinds of trails and little historical markers to kind of let you know what you're seeing.
It was beautiful. It looked like a great trip. So out of all the things you saw, the Big Five, the crocodiles, what was your favorite part?
Oh my, I probably would say the Cape of Good Hope. We've heard so much about it in nautical history, about people, traversing from Europe, coming to the New World, going around the Cape of Good Hope. To actually see that with your own eyes is just remarkable. And you guys stay tuned. In a couple of weeks, I'll have some shots of that.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Thank you very much, International Man of Mystery, AJ Sabine. Well, still to come on TWILA, how does the state budget crisis affect agriculture and affect you? Neil Melanson gives us the bottom line.
Up next.